Mike Owens with Inside Fighting here, joined today by Matt Frevola, the steamroller, who steamrolls into Paris next month where he faces Fares Ziam. Matt, always good to sit down and chat. How things are you today?
Yeah, always good to talk to you. It's all going good. Training hard, feeling good. Can't wait to get out to Paris.
How are your emotions after your return and obviously a massive fight away from home? How are you feeling?
I feel great, man. This is what we wanted. I love to like travel the world, fight some of the best guys from around the world. And I've never been to France, and I'm really excited to go to Paris and explore the city and do what I do best.
Because I did see you were very vocal on social media or trying to get on this card. So was there a particular reason why you wanted France as opposed to some of the other international opportunities? Maybe we've obviously just seen UFC Manchester. Why specifically did you want the Paris card?
I've been feeling the love from the French people,
Mm.
and then watching just like the past UFC Paris cards and seeing the energy that the French fans bring. I really wanted to fight there, and I've never been to Paris. So it's definitely checking another box off the bucket list.
How do you feel about fighting Frenchmen? I mean, I don't know how many UFC lightweights are, French UFC lightweights there are, but you're going to fight two back to back. How do you feel about fighting against the French again?
It would have been ideal to not fight a Frenchman in Paris, but I told them anybody in Paris, and they offered for us, and I was like, let's go.
Where are you at in camp, Matt? Are you steamroller Frivola or are you cream roller Frivola?
No, man, we're steamroller right now. Let's go.
At what point does that change? Does that switch flip? Is that as soon as you get the fight contract, you stop the diet and you start the diet, I should say?
I always hope like 10 weeks out that I'm the steamroller and I'm not the cream roller. I like to cream roll. I love food. I like to eat. I'm naturally a big guy. Like I could be like 200 pounds tomorrow if I ate whatever I wanted. Um, but I'm training. I'm feeling good. I'm in shape, and we're steamrolling through this camp. I can't wait.
Is pizza in New York as good as everybody tells me it is?
Oh, it's the best, man. Come on, you gotta get a slice every time you come.
I love it. I love it. For SCM, we've mentioned his name. He'll be the man you'll be facing off against. Give me your overall scouting report, what you think he does well, and where areas you're looking to exploit.
Yeah, he's good, man, and he's got a lot of momentum right now. He's on a three-fight winning streak. He's tall for the weight class. He's pretty well rounded. He's a very skilled striker, and he's got high fight IQ. He's won some split decisions, and he knows what he has to do to win. A lot of people have been saying he's boring though, but you're not in a boring fight when you fight me. So we're gonna change that. It's gonna be a fun, exciting fight, and like I said, he's got momentum, and he really grew up in the octagon. He got to the UFC very young, and now he's more mature. He looks like he's training hard, and I'm preparing for the best version of Fares there is. But he's fighting me at the wrong time
Why is that?
because I'm the best I've ever been right now. I'm in the prime of my life, physically, mentally, spiritually. I just had my first child. I'm a father now, and that's just made me a better man, a better man, a better martial artist all around. I'm doing the right things, in the gym, outside the gym, and you're gonna see the best version of the steamroller yet.
We'll, we'll be back to the interview in just a second, but first and foremost, college football is finally back, and Inside Fighting are partner with DraftKings to bring you an incredible new offer. New DraftKings customers who bet $5 will receive $200 in bonus bets instantly just by signing up using promo code Inside Fighting. Enjoy. Well, congratulations on the birth of your first child. How does that change or alter or maybe even improve fight camp? Because I imagine that comes with some difficulties getting up in the middle of the night to make sure they're okay, feeding them bottles, all of that. How does that change fight camp for you?
Yeah, it's definitely different. It is like, sleep is probably the biggest difficulty.
Mm.
I was waking up and like feeding him at like 2 in the morning and all that. But he's like about 2 months old now, so he's starting to sleep through the night. But I think, like I said, it's just made me better. Instead of like coming home and just like watching like mindless like TV or just doing whatever. Now I'm just taking care of my boy, and I think it's just making me better. I'm being better. I'm being a better man for him, for my wife, and it's all coming together.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. You mentioned it a minute ago, and I want to bring you back to this point about the uh the idea that Fares maybe isn't the most entertaining fighter, and you said about how there's no such thing as a boring Matt Frevola fight. In order to win this fight, do you have to turn it into a fight? Is that the point?
Yeah, I'm gonna fight him the only way I know how, which is go for him and go for the finish. I'm gonna make it into a dog fight, and I don't lose dog fights. That's the only way I know how to fight. I'm gonna be coming forward. I'm gonna be throwing shots to take his head off. And a lot of people forgot I could wrestle. I got jujitsu. I'm a well-rounded mixed martial artist, and I'm looking to use every aspect of fighting, in this one.
100%. I have to ask you about the last fight because that was obviously, certainly in terms of notoriety, the biggest fight of your career. A featured fight in MSG for a New Yorker doesn't get much bigger. But how do you reflect on the overall last fight against Benoit Saint-Denis, and were there any positives that you could take from that experience?
Yeah, it was a great camp. It was a fun fight until last.
Mm,
It was just like spicing up. And being in there until he head kicked me.
mm,
But it was a beautiful head kick. It was a beautiful finish. Um, but being in there with him, I knew I could beat him,
mm,
and that's what I take away from that is that I knew I could beat him. He caught me with that head kick and finished me. Props to him. He's an amazing fighter himself. Just watching him fight Dustin Poirier was awesome too. He had a great first round. But that's the fight game. Anybody could finish anybody. It's whoever shows up. It's whoever's shine. Is ready under those lights. But I know that on my best day I could beat anybody in the world. So all I can do is prepare to bring the best version of myself to Paris, which is what I'm doing.
Was it frustrating watching how his last fight went against Poirier? Because there's certainly similarities to yourself and Poirier's style, and I imagine when watching that fight, there was things that you thought that you saw that Poirier did that I'm sure that you thought that you could have done also.
Yeah, yeah, because you know, jump the gilly, man. Like literally right before I got head kicked, like I was like I almost jumped the guillotine. Like I almost jumped the gilly, and I think I learned so much from that. I fell in love with the knockout.
Mm.
I had three first round knockouts, and the game plan was to stand with them and knock them out. But I think if I would have jumped that gilly, it could have gone similar to to what Poirier did to him. I could have tired him out, grappled with him more, and let the fight go into later rounds. But that's the fight game. We live, we learn, we get better, and that's what I'm doing.
How do you see the main event between Benoit and Renato Moicano playing a very interesting style matchup between very two guys with completely different styles?
Yeah, I'm very interested in that fight. It could go either way. Like I said, I think anybody could beat anybody. It's who shows up. It's who shows up on point. But I am interested to see them grapple. Moicano's such a high level grappler. Benoit is a very high level grappler as well. Um, and kind of see what game plan Benoit is looking to do. I think he always uses his wrestling. Um, but is he going to want to use that wrestling and grappling against Moicano because that's his kind of strength?
Hmm.
Is he going to want to stand with them? Try to keep it standing. So it's going to be interesting.
100%. I have to ask as well because although we've never had the pleasure of meeting Matt, I've met a lot of your teammates on my travels. So including your head coach Ray Longo. So how is the room in Longo MMA at the moment? A lot of guys preparing for a lot of big fights. I imagine there's a real good buzz around the gym as you will get prepared.
Oh yeah, man. There's always so many killers in there getting ready for fights. It's going great. Ray's always, helping everybody out. Steve Lee's always helping everybody out. And and we're all working hard. It's iron sharpens iron at Longo's gym. And that's how we do it.
Do you plan to? I mean, the biggest high profile fight of your gym at the moment is obviously Merab's fight coming up in the Sphere. Very very unique position to headline a card like that. Do you plan to be at the Sphere for Merab's fight against Sugar Sean?
Man, I wish it's gonna be. I'm gonna be too in deep in camp. I think it's a little bit too soon,
Mm,
too close to my fight for me to go out to Vegas. But unfortunately, I won't be there. But I was just in Vegas, last week, so I was able to see Merab, watch him spar. He's looking like a beast, and I'm so excited for him to watch. I remember when, before Merab was in the UFC, he was at the gym. He could barely speak English. He was fighting for Ring of Combat,
mm,
and he just got into the UFC from Dana White,
yeah.
looking for a fight, and just to see where he's at now. He's a superstar. He's the
Mm,
man. He's truly living the American dream, the Georgian American dream. He came to this country with a dream, and he's really doing it. And he's one of the nicest guys, one of the coolest
mm,
guys. He'll give you a shirt off his back if
yeah.
you ask him. And just to see where he's at now, fighting for a world title, at the Sphere, it's amazing.
What's a sparring round like with Merab? Because of all the guys on the roster, his gas tank is one of the ones that scares me the most. I can't imagine what 5 minutes of that guy trying to punch and kick you must feel like. So what does 5 minutes sparring with Merab Dvalishvili feel like?
The first minute I'm good, but then he's shooting takedowns on me left and right. I'm getting up, he's taking me down. I'm getting up, he's taking me down. It's fun though, man. It's
Mm,
fun because sometimes I feel like Marab doesn't even know what he's gonna do until he does it. It's like
mm,
he's so unpredictable, and I think that's what's gonna be big in this fight. He's got like a different style that he doesn't have like a rhythm that anybody could pick up because again, I don't even think he knows what he's gonna do until he does it.
mm.
He goes in there and he fights. He fights like on his instincts, and I think O'Malley's gonna have a lot of trouble with that.
A lot of people online are saying that the two kind of predictions I see the most are either Sugar early or Merab late, i.e. Sugar via KO or Merab via late stoppage or wide decision. Do you see the fight in those two terms? Do you feel like that's the way for Merab to get this one done?
Yeah, I do. I do. O'Malley is dangerous. He's a sniper. He could, and I think he's most dangerous. Early in the fight. I think it's pretty obvious his game plan is to catch Merab coming in.
Mm,
You know, and Merab is he's got a great chin, and he's gonna have to really, use his feints, uses, be unpredictable with his shots, and really, turn it into a dogfight. And I think that's the New York coming out of him. He's a dog in there just like we are. We got that grit, and that the grit is what you can't teach.
Mm.
We go in there, we fight our hearts out, and we leave everything we got in there. And if Merab does that, he's going to be a world champion.
The last one from me, Matt, and I want to turn the conversation back to yourself. You can be as brief or as detailed as you like with this one, but I want you to give me a perfect walkthrough of your fight day. So I want to know, a walkthrough of what happens when you wake up in the morning to when you go to sleep at night as you envisage the perfect fight day.
Yeah, perfect fight day in Paris. I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna have a good breakfast. I'm gonna have my eggs. I'm gonna have my avocado, maybe some potatoes, some toast. Um, and then I'm gonna go back to my room, relax a little, and then we go do a shakeout, which is not too hard of a workout. We just you like to break a sweat after the weight cut, just kind of like a walk through, shadow box, hit some pads, do some drilling, and then after that shakeout, go and have a little light lunch, and then I kind of just go back to my room. I take a nap. I'll visualize. I'll try to like unplug a little. Turn the lights off. Try to get a little sleep, and just just kind of just rest my mind, rest my body until it's time to go to the arena. And then we go to the arena and get backstage, get into the workout room, and I'm kind of just chilling, and then change into my to my fight kit, and then I do my stretching and do my shadow boxing, do my warm up, and then we just go, we fight, and we do what we do. I'm a fighter. That's what I do. In the end of the day, it's just a fight, and that's what I do.
100%. Well, look, Matt, always good catching up. Thank you so much for the time. Congratulations on as well on the birth of your first son. Great news to hear. Wish you a safe and great rest of camp and best of luck for the next fight.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And Manchester's on the bucket list too, so I'm definitely looking to get out there someday.